Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Football Clowns Anonymous. This is your host, Kurtis Pinkney, aka the Oracle, speaking on the mothership with his co-clown, Ren Smith, Dr. Ren Smith, aka the Scholar.
Skull Vikings.
Coming to you live from the office of Buffalo, New York, and the hotel room of Washington, D.C.
Yes, joining you from the Hotel Xena in Washington, D.C. I'm traveling for a work conference right now. So tragically, I know this is going to make everybody just turn the episode off right now. Tragically, I forgot my Scholar hat with me. So all my picks are guaranteed to be wrong. But that's just how we do it. There's some really interesting juice, though, and we had to make sure that even despite my travels, we had an opportunity to get ourselves on the record. And we're coming to you a week late, as Kurtis was being what did you call yourself, a tech boy degenerate last week?
Tech boy degenerate. I was in Vegas for the AWS reInvent concert, and Ren is more dedicated to the pod than I, because I was busy drinking top shelf scotch with a bunch of people with more money than they know what to do with, trying to fit in, and it was very awkward, but met a lot of really cool people, learned about a lot of really cool shit, learned a lot about AI, and it makes me want to build an AI agent for our podcast to do something
nice. Make our picks for us.
Make our picks for us. I was thinking edit the pod for us would be kind of cool. Just the possibilities are limited by your imagination in terms of where technology is right now, and it just nerding out for half a second, absolutely fascinating what we're able to do. But let's bring it back in.
I absolutely love that, and I just want to say it's not so much dedication. If I could be getting paid top shelf scotch, but scientists are poor. They don't have more money than they know what to do with. They're in their hotel rooms working on their proposals, and that's exactly what I was doing. So
that's crazy.
Nerd alert. But
yeah, you're conferencing incorrectly, sir.
I will accept that. I will accept that criticism. I got a NASA retirement party for a higher up at NASA that I'm going to on Thursday, so I'm pretty sure that that top shelf scotch is just going to be delayed a couple of days. But Monday was a free day. Monday was a free day, so we're keeping the ship moving.
Right. And speaking of keeping the shit moving, the NFL is keeping shit moving with this Monday Night Football game. Surprisingly entertaining up to this point, 14-10 in favor of the Bengals. Cooper Rush out here trying to put together a little 4-minute drive, nothing crazy. It's been entertaining. I mean, we don't have much riding on it. Maybe actually before we get to that, this made me remember I'm not making the playoffs in my league.
Nope. You are not.
I remember this because I have T. Higgins going tonight, and it doesn't fucking matter.
I was gonna let you finish your sentence, and
I know
out there, but you please believe I was going right back. Last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago, you reeled it on back to make sure that you got an opportunity to remind me that your wife beat me in fantasy football. Now, yeah, what? 2 weeks ago?
Happened?
Yeah, it did. What? She beat me
No.
twice in fantasy football, but she has accounted for half of my losses, and I only have 4 losses, and I'm getting a bye for the 3rd year in a row in your league. Thank you, by the way, for continuing to invite me and continuing to roast me every single time we draft that I have no idea what I'm doing, and I continue to get buys. It's amazing. I look forward to seeing you in the playoffs. Oh, wait, just kidding. But
you won't see me in the playoffs because we don't play in the same big money league together. So in the big money league, you boys got a 1 seed.
Hey, there you go.
First round bye. You like that little
pivot. I was finished. I put a bow on it.
Put a nice little bow on that. Yeah.
Put a bow on it. You can go have your moment. Yeah. The 1 seed is good, and I because I'm not in that league. I do genuinely hope that there's money waiting for you. There's big money waiting for you at the end of the big money league.
It would be wonderful. My team has been on a smidge of a slide, but I'm thinking, we've got next week. Ice up, you know what I'm saying? Study the film, see what's going on, and then the week after that is game time, bro. We got D. Henry, we got Jalen Hurts.
You're good. You're good to go.
Jonathan Taylor, T. Higgins on that league as well, actually.
Oh yeah,
you're ready. We got McBride, bro. We're good to go.
You're gonna be just fine.
Shakir apparently is a dog.
You should ceremoniously, I did this one year, you should ceremoniously bench your entire team for next week, just so that anyone that clicks your team just sees nothing but a blank slate. And then you can ceremoniously fill your players back in. It's really amazing seeing your projected score go from 0 to like 120, just as you like rebuild this elite roster right before your eyes.
That does sound like it would feel good.
It does feel good. You do whatever you want, because I know you don't want to mess with the fantasy gods, and maybe benching your lineup even ceremoniously might be,
I mean, they need to get into practice, right?
What'd you say?
A little practice week. Practice week.
Yeah, they need a week. Spend a week on the bench. Spend a week on the bench. You said ice.
Okay.
You said ice him. Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I might do that.
Yeah, just think about it. I'm thinking about doing it in the in your league. So we'll see if it pans out.
That would be cute if we could be twinning in our different leagues.
Yeah, and then both of us just flames out horribly in the semifinals. Probably.
I am fully expecting that to happen.
That. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Last week we still did our picks, even though we weren't actually recording a show. But we've still been doing this thing where we're auto betting all of the times where we are in agreement with where we are compared to the Vegas line and at least 2 points away. And last week we had 7 of those and we went 3 and 4, which isn't horrible, but could be better. This week we have a lot, and we'll get to that. Obviously we're going to get to that eventually, but I just wanted to throw out, and I know you're taking the lead here on this episode, but I didn't want to go past in terms of a recap. If you differentiate that between the spreads and the points, the spreads, we're 45 and 32 on the season, and on that strategy, which is a really nice feeling. So
that's not too shabby at all.
Not at all. The points not as good, but it's really nice to see that in the spreads category. So
nobody cares about points anyways.
No,
that's for children.
If we keep this up during the season, we might want to consider just doing the spreads next season, but we'll have to see how it kind of ends.
Yeah, I could probably get on board with that.
We'll see. It's sad to see the points will just continue to go up in flames for us, but
I
had some good hits.
I say we do that, and then next year all we hit is points, and and I think it makes sense that we're hitting on the spreads, because I mean the points are, when I'm going through these fucking points, I mean it is very arbitrary. This feels like a 28, this feels like a 17, blah blah blah, as opposed to the spreads. Like there is a little bit more intuition, we'll say. Carolina is going to beat Dallas by X amount of points. Like this probably going to be close, but I see Carolina eking it out. Baltimore probably beating the dog shit out of the Giants. Doesn't really matter what the score is. It's going to be a dog. It's going to be a beatdown.
Yes.
So it makes sense that we're doing better on the spreads as opposed to the points.
I couldn't agree more, because I am usually thinking about, maybe it's 20 to 27 or maybe it's 17 to 10, but in reality, I've got the team winning by a touchdown. Like I'm saying it's whatever, pick your example. It's Bengals, like Bengals and Cowboys are playing tonight. It's Bengals by a touchdown, right? I actually picked this one at I actually gave the Bengals 41 points today, which that was a bit absurd, but I just have no respect for the Cowboys whatsoever.
I mean, I completely understand. I almost gave the Ravens 40 points this week, but I was like, you know what, Kurtis, chill out, big dog. Come on, dog.
It's within the realm of possibility, but you also got to think too. It's hard. You got to think about game script when you have a team in a chokehold like that. A lot of times you just kind of coast, right? And both teams kind of know this one's over. We're not going to we're not going to grind this team into dust unless it's the Kirk Cousins revenge game. In which case, then you put up the 40 burger.
Damn. And with that, are we just sliding right into game recaps? Is that what I'm hearing?
We certainly can. We certainly can.
Because that's definitely one of the games that happened last week. Dr. Ren Smith's Minnesota Vikings went. Where did they actually play that game? Where did they go?
That was in Minnesota.
No, they went home. They went home, and they played the Atlanta Falcons. And who quarterbacks the Atlanta Falcons? Why don't you remind me, Ren?
Yeah, so our former quarterback, who we used to refer to as Kirk Thuggins, Kirk O'Chains, a number of very endearing nicknames, came back, and he at times played a respectable game. He had 21 points in that game, but I can tell that he actually really misses throwing to guys wearing purple. because he did it twice. He must have forgot who he plays for now and really gifted us with 2 of the passes that he threw. They scored 21 points in the game, and we doubled them up, and we beat them by 3 touchdowns anyways. Sam motherfucking Darnold is the first Vikings quarterback to throw 5 touchdowns in a game since – you want to take it? You can take a guess. You know who it is.
Randall Cunningham.
Good guess. Dante Culpepper, 2004. Good guess, though.
Yeah.
Right time. You had the right era.
Yeah.
So 20 years it's been since a Vikings quarterback threw, and all 5 of them were to either JJ or Addison, which is
those boys. Yikes.
That is the combo that you want to see heating up in December when your team is now 11-2, and somehow
is Addison nice?
Addison is good at this. Addison is very good at football. He's always been good at football. This is actually, this reminds me of the Diggs and Thielen. It's probably a better version of it, but it reminds me of the Diggs and Thielen 1-2 tandem that we had a few years ago, where it was almost like when one of them would become sort of the dominant focus and teams would start to double them, the other one would just start eating. The only difference is JJ's probably inarguably better than both of them were. And so you can double JJ, and Jordan Addison's going to have a great game, but guess who else is still going to have a good game is JJ. So it's been fun to watch. We have to play 3 teams in playoff position with our last 4 games. So we're very much going to be a wild.
Good thing you've been doing that shit all season, just playing playoff teams. That's all you do.
Right. No, I mean, exactly. But we've been doing a good job of winning, even though it's admittedly ugly sometimes. I mean, the Cardinals game was pretty ugly. We needed a comeback. And
when you win 11 times, unfortunately, it's not possible to be pretty every single time.
Absolutely not. Case in point, the Kansas City Chiefs, who have now won 12 games, and they are doing it continually. And I almost think they're getting uglier and uglier with each single win. Did you happen to see, I don't know when you came back from Vegas, the kick at the end of this game? They're down by 1 point. They need a field goal to win the game. Damn kicker hits the upright. Like, you should just lose. But it just, by some fortuitous, the barometric pressure on that side of the stadium was just enough that it bounced in instead of bounced out. Just wild. Why are you this crazy?
I don't believe in God. But there is a God, because ain't no fucking way, bro. Ain't no fucking way.
It's the only suitable explanation for how the Chiefs keep winning games.
It's either God or Satan, bro. They either sold their soul to the devil, or God just smiles favorably upon them. I'm not sure which it is. I'm not really well versed in, religion, theology, all of that. I don't understand the inner workings of this shit. But for them to win on as much bullshit as they've won on just literally all season, makes no sense to me. Zero sense to me. And this is with half of their offense on IR. It's crazy. Like, you know what? We're obviously just lucky enough to be destined to live in the era or in the time when a team won 3 Super Bowls, because they apparently can't lose shit. For any reason.
They cannot lose. The Bills got them once, but they're going to have to play that game, and they're probably going to have to play that game at Arrowhead in the playoffs. And you know damn well how it's going to go. And the Chiefs could lose. The Bills could win out, and the Chiefs could lose one, and then they've got the tiebreaker. The Chiefs still do have to visit the Broncos, which the Broncos are going to be playing for their playoff position, potentially still in that game. So that could be a loss. But the problem is the Bills have to play the Lions this week, and that the Lions don't want to lose.
Yeah.
No. So, I mean, it'll probably end up being the Chiefs being the 1 seed. Boring. But you can't – oh, man, it's so hard, because on one hand, they don't deserve to be winning all these games. But on the other hand, how can you pick against them, even going into the playoffs, just because of this? I mean, if nothing else other than this theology argument that you just made, that's totally hand-waving. Like, how can you bet against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs? He's the new Tom Brady. You almost can't do it and feel, at least you can't do it and feel good about it, for sure. It's crazy.
It's honestly the fucking worst.
It is.
But being older and wiser, I am certainly appreciating it a lot more, because, I mean, Tom Brady has had seasons like this where they look just discombobulated on offense. And, for some reason they figure it out right in the nick of time during the playoffs and look like the all-star, just, bandit killers that they've always been. And it's just, maybe this is just what it is. I mean, there are going to be seasons where, it's the Randy Moss season and they're throwing for 57 touchdowns or whatever. And there are going to be seasons like this where they kind of just ho-hum their way to a smooth 17-1 record or 16, whatever the fuck it's going to end up being. And, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot. We're actually really good and we're going to fuck y'all up in the playoffs too.
Yep. They just need to punch. They just need to punch their ticket. That's all they need to do.
Yeah.
And they're doing just enough. They're doing just enough to get there.
Check. Oh, you're talking about the Super Bowl. I was still thinking.
No, I'm saying no. I'm check to get to the playoffs. They just need to win enough games basically to get to the playoffs and give themselves a chance in that.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Yep. So yeah, check. They got the division. So good for them. Bills got the division too. So that's exciting. And speaking of the Bills, I think they got caught sleeping a little bit by the LA Rams yesterday.
Yeah, it would appear so. Josh Allen, is he the best quarterback in the league?
Oh boy, that's a tough. I think right now he's going to win the MVP. I can't tell you that he's not, because I can't tell you he's not. Yeah.
That man had 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns. I was looking at that fucking box score earlier, bro. He had 10 carries for 82 yards and 3 touchdowns. And then James Cook, their running back, had 6 carries for 20 yards.
Josh Allen is that motherfucker. He's just that motherfucker.
That's on top of throwing the ball for almost 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. He just basically said, you know what? I'll go ahead and take a rest day. Your boy got it. I got this shit. Because y'all obviously didn't show up to play if you're going to be having me down X amount of scores at any given point in this fucking game. That's all right. I'll take care of it. I got it from here.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is a dog.
He is. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think the answer to your question is yes. I think you have to say he's the best quarterback in the league right now. It's a conversation, but I think it's got to be him at this exact moment.
No other quarterback in the league is doing it. Especially, we didn't even talk about who is he. He's got Amari Cooper, who he had a fine game, I guess, but he's not the world beater that you brought him in to be up to this point, anyway. Khalil Shakir had a nice day on the back of a 50-yard touchdown. I didn't see the play, but I'm. Actually, I don't know if it was broken. Shakir's kind of a dog. He's kind of slippery.
Yeah.
James Cook.
Yep.
Yeah, Keon Coleman is. I think was he out? I don't even know actually.
I think he was injured. Yeah.
Yeah. Kincaid was out. So it's like, bro, you're playing with a mix of first and second stringers. Some of these receivers wouldn't really be the one on other teams, and it's just very impressive to see. And yet here we're talking about they lost 44-42. They basically did their best Bengals impression.
Yes. Play all kinds of offense, and the quarterback puts the team on their back, and then the defense just can't stop anything. I mean, I think they were also down and couldn't really come back. So disappointing to see him give that effort in a loss, but it is amazing to see. And because we didn't record last week, I'm assuming you must have seen the play of him diving in the snow for the pylon, basically, where he basically threw a touchdown to himself somehow.
Yeah.
I think it was via Amari Cooper, and Cooper just laterals it back to him, and dude Supermans to the pylon. Like, that one play almost made me go in and bet him to win MVP, because it's like, you can't look at that and say that this dude's not putting the team on his back.
Right.
Every sense of the word.
Hashtag that guy.
Incredible. From a fantasy standpoint, just lighting it up. And when you throw a touchdown pass to yourself, doesn't hurt the fantasy stats, just
not too bad.
One extra little wrinkle on top of that.
Okay, depending on your scoring format, that's a 13 to 14 point play. Nothing crazy.
Absurd. Just
nothing
absurd.
crazy.
Should do that on purpose going forward.
Another phenomenal game though. Packers Lions.
Woo! Awesome. It lived up.
Yeah, go ahead. You could take it on.
No, it lived up to the hype in every way. And I think I think we knew that this was going to be a game that the Packers would get up for and keep this game close. But man, just the shootout between those two quarterbacks. I mean, and knowing well that these two, we talk about the future of the NFL all the time on here, and knowing well that these two quarterbacks will probably be playing NFL football and potentially on the same teams in a few years. these matchups between those quarterbacks are going to be continually must watch. It's going to be the Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson type of matchup. It's going to be must watch TV every single.
I think so.
I think that last game on Thursday definitely proved that.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Packers gave it their all. I mean, much like the Vikings, they lost by a field goal. And so, you know, it's awesome to see that despite how dominant Detroit is, the sort of parity that you still have in the NFC North with those other top two teams is actually really interesting to see. So, I mean, Detroit's still they'll probably win out and get the 1 seed anyways, because they're ridiculous. But it's you can see that they're mortal, and that gives me some hope as a Vikings fan in the playoffs. I think we're still going to get dog walked by them, but it was fun to see that type of game and not just Detroit steamrolling another team, because they take care of business against those other teams. But the Packers have got something good. The Packers have definitely got something good going. You know, they couldn't really stop the Lions on Packers defense, couldn't really slow down the Lions too much, but yeah, they're feeling it and they're liking where they're sitting in Green Bay right now. Although I will say, absolutely crazy that you have that team and at 9-4 and they're sitting in the 6th seed right now.
I was just looking at the standings.
It's crazy
about those 3 teams in the North. The Bears didn't hold up their end of the bargain to have a 4-team or a whole division in the playoffs, but those 3 teams will almost certainly be representing. And I was just thinking about, I cannot wait to see the wild card, because there's going to have to be some combination of somebody's facing somebody within the division at some point in these playoffs.
Yep.
And whenever that game happens, go ahead, just get the popcorn. That's all you need.
Go ahead and block
the way
it.
that those boys were flying around the field on that Thursday night game, I don't remember at what point during the it was right after coming out of halftime, but it was, I don't remember which team was on what side of the ball, but somebody threw basically is like a little outside scheme type of run, and the safety from the defense, bro, just flying downhill, and you could hear the hit, you know, from the broadcast. And I was in a crowded ass bar, and everybody in the bar was just like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
yeah, just one of those types of game, like coming out of the locker room at halftime and still just having that kind of juice.
Oh yeah,
crazy. And the one hit when Tucker Kraft got just popped when he caught that ball, and then just, you know, jumping off his back onto his feet, bro. Like, that hit would have probably put me in a coma, dog. Like, he got rocked and just didn't feel anything. The adrenaline must have been going crazy at that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, must watch TV.
Absolutely. I mean, you could see how much both of those teams really wanted to win that game. And even Detroit sitting in the driver's seat in the division, you know, they know they've got the Vikings and the Packers breathing down their neck. So it was cool to see. And it is going to happen at some point. I mean, in the first round of the playoffs, it's going to be Vikings and Packers playing road games probably, which is disgusting in and of itself. Yes. And then, you know, whoever wins one of those teams, whoever wins is going to probably have to play Detroit. So, or they'll play each other if the whoever's in the 7th spot, if that's an upset. Right. Vikings, Packers would play each other. I'm not ready for that.
No.
I'm not ready for that shit.
And the scholar's mother, Packers fan. You hate to see that.
Devastating. That's the family. The family's going to be on timeout for at least a week during that time period.
Minimum.
Yep. Week before and a week after, depending on who wins, probably. So.
Yes, sir.
Well,
but you know who doesn't really give a shit about their chances to try and make the playoffs?
Who's that?
The motherfucking Arizona Cardinals, dog.
The Arizona Cardinals. What a great performance. You've got the NFC West, and look at how tight the NFC West is in terms of the standings. The Arizona Cardinals have been gifted with this golden chance on a silver platter to take command of their division. And they just take that plate and just chuck it on down the hallway into next week. What a disgusting performance by them, getting rocked by the Seahawks in Arizona. That was just crazy. Yeah, I don't know. This Kyler-led team is they're very hot and cold all the time, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But who wants to win that division?
Apparently, the Seahawks want to win that division. Damn, I took a sip of wine and that thing went down the wrong tube immediately. Just Awful.
Thank you graciously for muting yourself during that. That was painful to watch. I'm ready to hand the floor back to you, and I just see extra coughing like for the third time. I'm like, dude, are you gonna make it?
Yeah, I know. I died there for a sec. But yeah, the Seahawks apparently want to win the division, and the Rams surprisingly want to win the division. I would love to see the Rams pull it off for my division winner bet. That would be wonderful. Since it's becoming quite clear to me the Cardinals aren't going to hold up their end of the my dark horse playoff bet, which that's fine. But yeah, the Seahawks. And what's crazy is they did this without Kenneth Walker. You know, their passing attack looks very decent at best. The defense seems to be holding up okay, but I mean, are we excited about the Seahawks right now as a playoff threat, as a playoff team?
Not as a playoff threat for sure. I don't think I'm excited about. I mean, I would much rather it be the Niners or the Rams from an entertainment standpoint at this point. But they're just no one really wants to win that division. No one has created separation in that division, and it's entertaining to see how it's going to play out these last 4 weeks, but it's also kind of pathetic as well. Just seeing these teams, like who wants to win it the least almost is kind of what it boils down to. Because the Niners have clowned their way all season, and the Rams are making a push, and we'll see if it's enough against the Seahawks. But I hope that they play each other again. I should check that. I'm kind of curious, but
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm gonna check that because that'll be a really interesting game for potentially doing. They do. It's the final game of the season. Seahawks at Rams. You should double down on that Rams to win the division bet because that would probably give the Rams a tiebreaker. And man, Anyway,
and they're winning that game too.
The Rams are winning.
Healthy. Cooper healthy. Kyron Williams, that guy. Matt Stafford, hashtag that guy. Defense doesn't matter because see the offense that we just spoke about. Like
see figure one.
Yeah, like those boys are dogs. Also, fun programming note: Trey McBride, really that guy, bro. Like the amount of targets and receptions he has, it's absurd. And doing all that without a touchdown, also absurd. He's basically doing Kyle Pitts' rookie year all over again.
Oh yeah, that's a good blueprint for it. I was gonna say Travis Kelce of a few years ago, with just like being used like a receiver, basically being used like a wide receiver, and the number of targets that he's getting.
Yeah, only reason I mentioned that because the big money league has Trey McBride just sitting right there. Nothing crazy.
You have to.
I'm guessing he's going to fall out of the top 24 in drafts next year. Hoping because he will definitely be my keeper.
There you go.
Tight end premium 2 PPR.
Oh, that's right. I forget. You have Trey McBride in a two tight end PPR league.
That is correct, sir.
Well done, sir.
It feels really good. Feels really good.
That's a good pick. I really wish that actually, I'm not suggesting a rule change, but I have Jonnu Smith and Kate Otten on my team right now, and I know if it was 2 tight ends, I would be rolling with both. I would be rolling with a tight end in my flex position in the playoffs.
I wouldn't. You would be. I would not be able to talk to you. It would be disgusting. That would come out of your mouth in the chat.
You are already disgusted by me just in the things that I've already said.
That's great. Damn, it was crazy. So I had a great transition for Baker winning the division earlier, and we pivoted away from it. So Baker wants a division.
That's it. Period.
Period.
No,
I mean,
no.
Atlanta's doing their best to throw it away.
They're doing their best. They're doing their best Cardinals impression.
Yeah, they are. And actually, I didn't even check to see if do the Buccaneers have the. They're right back up in that number 1 spot.
No, they're leading the division right now. So I want to actually personally thank you online for when we did this futures bet with Ryan all the way back to our futures episode that we did. You had Bucks to win the division at plus 320, and it inspired me to throw $5 of my real money on that at plus 320. And the cash out, it'll pay 21 if they win it. Right now, the cash out value is at 1350, and the Bucks played the Chargers this week, which could definitely be a win for the Chargers, and the Falcons have the Raiders. So it's making me really tempted about hitting that button right now.
Hold.
Do you have what it takes to hold? And you know what the worst. The worst part about this is that game. I think it was in Atlanta. That game that Kirk Cousins threw for 500 yards in and like stormed him back to make overtime and win the game in overtime. And if the Bucs had just found a way to win that game, they would probably have the tiebreaker then too, and an extra win, and an extra game lead. Yeah. So I knew how devastating. I knew how devastating that was when it happened. And
we got to look at these schedules real quick. We got to look at these schedules. So we got the Falcons.
I already looked at it. Go on. You
already looked at them?
No, go. Please remind me. Go.
Falcons, Raiders, Giants, Commanders, Panthers. That's probably gonna be a 2-2 schedule right there.
2-2 schedule. But the Bucs are gonna win 3. They're going 3-1. Check out the schedule.
Chargers, Cowboys, Panthers, Saints.
That's 3-1. To me, that's 3-1.
Who you schedule?
Yep. And that makes them division winners.
I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but that Panthers team, I don't know what's going on with them right now, but they just feel like you should be nervous about them. It's basically like they're playing with a reckless abandon that I don't quite fully understand. There's something going on there, some voodoo magic that the Oracle just can't. There's a cloud of mystery,
like the fog. I don't understand. The fog of war when you're playing.
Yeah. Because Bryce Young looks like we shouldn't have been talking shit about him, and that does not compute in my mind right now. So I'm trying to figure that out. But
you have to recalibrate, and that's going to take us a few games and a little bit more data. Unfortunately, that's the problem I think with it. So they could definitely beat the Bucs in that game, and that does give me pause. So yeah. I hope that I don't regret not pressing that button at 13:50.
But they're also a game up at the moment, so I think it'll be okay.
Well, the problem is the Falcons have the tiebreaker, so they can't tie.
Right.
So basically, in effect, the Bucs just have to win as many games as the Falcons.
Right.
So if the Bucs can go 2-2,
I would make that bet.
Yeah, the Bucs have to go 2-2. If the Falcons go 2-2, the Bucs have to go 2-2, and I think that they can probably do that. So,
also for all bet suggestions that folks, take of mine and actually place and win, I actually do collect a 10% service fee for hooking you up with those. Just
you want to go ahead and drop your Venmo into the chat right now, and just make sure.
Don't tempt me.
You might. We need to set up a Football Clowns Venmo account for people to thank us for our great contributions to their wallets after they make all kinds of riches, because you know how good we are at this. No, they should be tailing. Let's be real. They should be tailing the Scholar right now, because there's been some real heaters that I've been on a few of these different weeks. Last week was certainly one of those. So feeling good about that.
Yeah, that boy's been on fire. You know who has not been on fire?
Who's that?
The Oracle.
No. Oracle.
And that leads us into our clown of the week.
I'm not gonna dish that to you. We've already covered this. I'll just go quick because I think yours will be more interesting here based on some of the things that you've hinted at. I'm just gonna go with the Cardinals. We already talked about that. They had a chance to not wrap up the division, but they really had a chance to sort of cement their dominance in the NFC West in a division that, at least still even right now, is wide open. And you have these games that you can't win on the road that you're really close on, and you just come home, doesn't matter. All you got to do is win the division. You don't need to beat the Vikings. You just need to win your division. Come home and beat the Seahawks. And they just laid a giant egg and played awful, and like they don't want to win the division. So there are a number of teams that can get clown of the week. That one was going to take the cake for me, and I'm also pissed at them because they cost me money. But that's a small sort of emotional ploy tacked on top of that. So Arizona Cardinals are my clown of the week.
They earn that. The flashes that they've shown this year, there's no reason for them with basically a playoff game, in hand, for them to go out and put up that kind of performance is absolutely unacceptable, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
Yep, absolutely.
You know who else should be ashamed of themselves, Ren?
Who's that?
Anybody who paid for and after paying for those tickets, went to the goddamn Jacksonville Jaguars and Tennessee Titans game. Bro, because ain't no way, bro. Even if I pay for the $3.50 for those tickets that they probably cost, I would never. Bro, that's 4 hours you're never getting back. And then your prize for sitting through that shit is 2.5, 3 hours in traffic to get your ass home. Just thinking about the poor decisions that you made in life going to that sorry game, bro. 10-6? Come on, dog. Come on, bro. Absolutely. Just no. Like the AFC South in general, even the Texans, like, nah, not doing it. I'm tired. We're done. We're done with all that.
Well said. 10-6. And if you win,
AFC
you're probably
South
a Titans
fans,
fan.
yeah, probably. AFC South fans in general, y'all are clowns of the week.
Well said. Yeah, there's a number of other honorary ones that I kicked around. The Bears is one. The Eagles, even though they won. The Bills. The Chiefs, even though they won. You know, I'm fucking tired of them. But there's always lots of clowning around to go around. And speaking of clowning around, we're gonna have some clowning around to do with our picks here coming up this week. And I for one know that I am disgusted right now with some of these lines that we're seeing coming forward. I told Kurtis earlier, you know, I had a little hotel snafu right when I got to DC, and so I'm sitting in the lobby waiting for them to figure their shit out and find me a room. I placed way too many bets because I was looking at the lines and realizing that Vegas doesn't have any idea what it's doing right now. So looking forward to we got a lot of picks that we share this week, and I'm looking forward to seeing if we can do some damage on Vegas here. If you want to see our picks, we're not going to talk about all of them. Send us an email, footballclownsanonymous@gmail.com, and we'll add you to view access on our pick spreadsheet. But we're not going to just fire them at you because there's no way that you can write all that down.
Always the expert marketer, Ren. And that's why we love you on this show here. However, what we don't love is what's coming up next. So we got Kansas City and Cleveland on tap. We're going to go ahead and just lead things off with this because we got a new segment coming up. You got some splaining to do, sir.
That's the name of the segment.
Kansas City, Cleveland, 5-point road underdogs. Vegas over under 45.5. Kurtis has Kansas City winning 30-17. Mr. Dr. Ren Smith has the Cleveland Browns beating the Kansas City Chiefs 27-23. Dr. Smith, explain yourself.
I will. Did you watch the Cleveland Browns play the Baltimore Ravens in Cleveland? Side question. Did you watch the Cleveland Browns play the Pittsburgh Steelers in Cleveland? Cleveland won both of those games against greatly superior teams. They are, and did you watch them play the Denver Broncos? They should have won that game. Jameis is playing. We talked about reckless abandon for the Carolina Panthers. There is no team that has a reckless abandon like the Cleveland Browns right now. They have nothing left to play for. This is their Super Bowl. Taking down Patrick Mahomes is their Super Bowl. The Browns are built to kill Titans. They are not built to go to the playoffs because they, again, are just too sloppy, but they are built to take down a Titan. And last point, we just talked about the Chiefs and how they are getting terribly, terribly lucky. Who the hell are they, even at 12 wins, to be favored by 5 points on the road in a game that effectively does not matter? So I'm taking them. I know I'm getting cute. That's my upset. That's my upset of this week. You called me out on it, but that team is ready to take down another Titan. That's my opinion. Jameis, 2 picks, 4 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes, no picks, 2 touchdowns, and they lose by 2.
You know, you make interesting points. You're still a goofball for even suggesting this is going to happen. But bringing up the Ravens and Steelers it's an acceptable argument. However, my counter thought is divisional chaos happens at every turn.
Fair.
The Chiefs are not divisional opponents, sir. But it's not going to be like that. I'm not going to guarantee it because I won't bet against Jameis like that. But
But I just can't. I see your score of the Chiefs winning by 13 points, and I don't hate it in a vacuum. I don't hate it, but it doesn't pass the eye test that the Chiefs can win a game like that. Go back. They played a road game against the Panthers. They probably should have lost that game too. And I know the Panthers are playing better, but the Chiefs aren't getting up for this game. That's just my opinion. They're a little too high.
That's probably going to verify, and that's wild.
We'll see. I shouldn't maybe have taken them to win, but I have thrown a smooth $5 on the Browns to cover that spread 5 points, because within a field goal, the Chiefs don't win games. The Chiefs don't win games cleanly, and this is going to be an ugly game, like every other game the Chiefs have played. So that's kind
of heavy-handed with those bets there, Ren.
I'm a little heavy-handed this week, but I was sleep deprived. I was drinking beer in a hotel lobby, and I was slinging wagers. And boy, I sure hope I'm not much poorer after all this.
That would suck.
It would really suck. Anyway, just wanted to make sure we got that game in. I'll give the next one to you here. Actually, I'm gonna go out of order here on our sheet, because I want to make sure you have the opportunity to discuss what could well be the game of the week and what could well be a Super Bowl preview.
Oh,
the
man.
Buffalo Bills are playing a road game against the Detroit Lions in Detroit. The Vegas has the Lions favored by 2 points. The total is a high 54 points. I've got a 31-34 Detroit win. Kurtis has a 31-28 Detroit win. So we both see high-scoring games, and we both see the Lions by a field goal. I don't know that there's much else to discuss from an outcome standpoint, but what a great matchup. I'll let you take over here.
I think you sum it up perfectly when you say a potential Super Bowl preview. I mean, what else could we want, bro? Like, we just had Bills Rams, which technically at this point could be potential Super Bowl preview, and that game was phenomenal. And this game, there's no way that it disappoints. I mean, the Lions can't believe the sentence coming out of my mouth, just one of the most complete teams that we've seen in a long time. The Detroit Lions, one of the most complete teams we've seen in a long time.
10 years ago, you would have said you were crazy for saying that, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong,
for sure. And then we've got Buffalo with one of the most complete quarterbacks we've probably seen in a long time. Just a one-man record. I mean, we just talked about 6 touchdowns just this past week, 3 in the air, three on the ground. It's just going to be beautiful. It's just going to, football fans everywhere rejoice. I'm gonna have to link up with the family, probably find somewhere quiet to watch this game. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing, but we're turning off Red Zone and turning on Buffalo Detroit. Like it is what it is, bro. And the outcome be damned as long as it's a good game.
That deserves that respect. This game absolutely deserves that respect.
Yeah,
it should. I probably won't be able to see it locally because the Colts and Broncos are playing at the same time, so that'll be devastating for me out west. But yeah,
you got to stream that shit. Like, we don't promote illegal anything on this podcast, but you got to stream that. You got to watch that
with just a subtle little wink there. Yep. Yeah. I see what you did there.
But
yeah,
that's
when we did. Yeah.
Sorry. You want to head into that one? Do you have more? Do we want to put a bow on that?
No. The only bow I was going to put on it was just we're taking the over. Kurtis and I are taking the over by default automatically because we have so many points in this game. The total's high, but honestly, you can't make that total high enough for me to not want the over. Like we just watched that. We just watched that Rams and Bills game. Smash.
And the Packers Lions game.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
Both of those defenses looking a little suspect. Since the Lions have double-digit people on IR, whatever it is for their defense, just smash the over. Doesn't matter what it is.
Absolutely, can't be high enough. I might take it at 58. Don't even give a shit. Just wonderful.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Don't back out on me now.
Wow. It wouldn't satisfy our 2-point rule. is why.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm saying I would, but anyway, you got it. You got a good point.
You have Broncos Colts highlighted on this sheet here, and I'm a little curious why. Actually, I know why. I'm tripping. It's for playoff implications.
Playoff implications. I think they're both tied with each other right now, or at the very least, they're both sitting in wild card spots. So the loser is going to be on the outside looking in, I think, after this game.
Yeah.
So
the Broncos sitting at 8-5, taking on the Colts at 6-7.
Oh, I lied. Yeah, the Colts are 1 game out, so they need this. Actually, they need this.
Right.
Yeah,
big need.
Yep.
Big need. Vegas has the Broncos favored by 3.5, over under 44. We both have the Broncos at 27 points, and I've got the Colts getting 18. Dr. Smith has them coming in at 17. Playoff implications aside, I don't think Anthony Richardson has it in him to make this a competitive game myself. Humbly, of course, respectfully.
No, I absolutely agree with that. The Broncos are playing really well. That's a hard place to play at Mile High, and for not just for the altitude, the crowd noise. Everybody's feeling they're into it. They love their new quarterback, Bo Nix. To be honest with you, I thought last time I looked, the Colts were sitting there in that position basically, and the Broncos and the Colts were jockeying for one of those last spots, and the Colts have now fallen out after a couple of weeks. Now the Colts have now fallen out of that position. That being said, this is their only chance really to get back in, is to beat the team that's currently sitting in that 7 spot that they need to get in there. And I agree with you. I don't think that they can do it. I think it'll be interesting from that standpoint, from the sort of the subtext of it, of the playoff implications. But Kurtis and I are taking the Broncos. Kurtis and I are taking the Broncos minus 3.5 in this game because a field goal is not enough. I think this is it could be a steamroll.
Probably a little bit of a shellacking incoming, I would think.
Could be. And
I would agree.
Yeah. And speaking of probably not a shellacking, your Philadelphia Eagles, another very good game. This, I guess, I called the Bills and the Lions the Super Bowl preview. Theoretically, this could also be the Super Bowl. It's a little less likely. But Kurtis's Philadelphia Eagles are hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Maybe I should give this one to you, but you took the last one. I'm just gonna keep on reading. The Philadelphia Eagles are favored by 5 points at home against Russell Wilson, Mike Tomlin, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The total is 43. I have the Eagles winning by a touchdown, 30-23. Kurtis has the Eagles winning by a field goal, 27-24. So Kurtis sees this game being closer. But I mean, both of us have the Eagles winning by 1 possession here, and a pretty high scoring game. So Kurtis and I are going to play the over at 43 just because of the way we've seen these teams playing, no doubt. Anything you want to say about the excitement in this matchup, I guess, and these playoff implications here?
I hate that I'm going to say this. I'm a little nervous. The Steelers playing better than they should be playing. Hot Dog Wilson is no longer Hot Dog Wilson. He looks to be former MVP, former Super Bowl champion, Hot Dog Wilson. Our offense has been okay, but not great. More specifically, the passing offense leaves a little bit something to be desired. I mean, Saquon Barkley is Himothy. Everybody else is, kind of right. Basically he's leading that. He's putting the group project on his back. I don't know if that is enough. I mean, there is certainly something to be said about a strong running game and a stout defense, check and check on the Eagles side. But man, that Steeler team has been making some noise, man. I mean, they're in the position that they're in right now. I mean, they're leading the AFC North. They're currently the 3 seed at 10-3. Mike Tomlin, the GOAT.
Never had a losing season,
and probably never will. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. I'm just stating, going off his stats. Like, that's all I'm doing.
I'll believe it when I see it, that he can have a losing season. You should be nervous. I think you should be nervous in this game. I think you'll win, but I think you should be nervous.
I mean, the performance we just put up against the Panthers does not inspire much confidence. Well, we can't go against our boys.
No, but there's always that finger pointing game of, you see the Panthers are surging a little bit and they're playing better ball. So how much of it is the Panthers are getting better, and you just kind of took 1 week and played down to your competition a little bit. I think the Eagles are going to get up for this game against the Steelers, but the Steelers are a really good team. And they want this game too. I mean, they want to show that they can compete against prove to themselves that they can compete against another, Super Bowl hopeful team. So,
right.
Yeah, could be a little spicy.
It might be. It probably will be. But let's go ahead and move on to our last game we want to chat about and go through this real quick. So we've got the Buccaneers traveling to LA, taking on the Chargers. Over under 46.5 and or a point. Excuse me. I'm looking at two different things. We got a point total of 46.5, and we have the Chargers favored by -2.5. Boy just had a meltdown live on camera. Did you see that?
Hey, it's the most important shot is the next shot. So go ahead and take that. Go ahead and take that mic and keep on trucking, sir.
I've got the Chargers winning this game 24-20. Renly has the Buccaneers winning 24-23.
This is an emotional. I just want to say this is.
I almost did the same shit, but I was like, you know what? I can't do it. I'm not. I can't. I just couldn't.
The Chargers are playing really well right now,
yes, they are.
But so are the Bucs at this moment, and so it's a really hard game to pick. I think I just picked the Bucs from an emotional standpoint, but the Bucs know that they need this game. They're in first. They control their destiny to make the playoffs and have a home game. They will show up for this game. I don't know that they'll win it, but they will show up for this game for sure. And so it should actually be really good. A couple of these other games we talked about are going to upstage this one, but this should be a really good game.
I agree.
Really entertaining.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, for the sake of our season-long bets, it would be nice if they won this game, but I don't know, man. I don't know, and they would be a frisky out in the playoffs as well. I mean, I'm having flashbacks to last year when the Eagles and Bucks met in the playoffs. It's a non-zero chance that goofy shit happens again.
Eagles, the 5 seed. Guess who the Bucks would play if the playoffs started right now? They would play my Minnesota Vikings in Tampa. That would be after I've been spending a whole season cheering for Baker Mayfield. That would be a tough game to watch, and I would probably be betting money on Baker for multiple reasons.
Yeah, I mean, you got to.
At least I can get paid if I'm pissed. But
if you're sad, yeah.
The way that our secondaries looked for part of this year and occasionally during pretty much every game, Mike Evans might eat 13 catches, probably 2 touchdowns. That's a real concern of mine. So, but that's all hypothetical still. We'll see if it actually plays out.
We'll concern ourselves with that just maddening choice in the future.
Absolutely.
For now, shall we dive into the bets of the week?
Let's do it.
The Scholar and the Oracle, of course.
Of course.
You want to go ahead and take it off? I mean, do we want to end with something educational and start with the junk food, if you will?
We're gonna start with let's start with the degenerate. What is it? The tech boy degenerate, as he's so called. But Mr. Crystal Ball McGee, please take it away.
The Oracle kept it short and sweet this week. We've been on a bit of a losing streak, but we're getting right this week. We're calling this the Homer pick, as my co-clown so helpfully suggested. Eagles money line, Bills money line. That's all it is to it. We're going to win these important games. We're going to keep it pushing. It's on to week 16, on the march to those 1 seeds. Let's fucking go, dog. Like, let's just keep it simple.
The Bills going on the road against Dan Campbell and the Lions. I hope your crystal ball is not smudged this week, because that sounds real nice from a Vikings fan perspective.
Josh Allen's that guy. He's going to get the job done for you guys. He's so good that he doesn't only put his team on the back, he puts y'all's team on the back too.
I appreciate that, Josh Allen. Thank you so much.
He expects a personal letter from you in the mail.
If I knew where to send it, I would totally do that. Thank you, Josh Allen, for beating Jared Goff.
And with that, let's keep it pushing to the scholar.
All right. Well, like I said, I don't have my hat this week. So you can imagine that I'm putting on my scholar hat here and I'm ready to educate the masses. My first play, I already talked about it, is Browns +5. We do not respect the Chiefs to cover against any team at all. We respect them to win, but we don't respect them to cover. Next one, Panthers -1 against Dallas. I respect what Bryce Young is doing to turn this franchise around. I agree with Kurtis. We should probably not have been talking so much shit about him the way he looks right now. At the time, yes, but right now, we need to start putting some respect. So we're going to take the Panthers -1 at home against the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to take the Jags. We're going to take the Jags +3 against the Jets. This is more feelings than facts. I do not respect the Jets. I do not respect Aaron Rodgers. I know they made it close against the Dolphins last week, but let's go back all the way to a few weeks ago, and we'll repeat this. Fuck Aaron Rodgers. So Jags +3.5 at home. Keep it close. The last one I have is the Raiders +4.5 at home against Kirk Cousins and the Falcons. Again, I hate what I see from this Falcons team. I don't know that Vegas has anything to play for, but I just don't respect Atlanta to put away a team, even a bad team. And their fans aren't going to be traveling for this because they're an embarrassment. So those are the Oracle's 4 bets. The scholar. Excuse me, I misspoke. I'm too busy. You have the Oracle highlighted, so I said the wrong word. In addition, the scholar would like to educate you with a couple of teaser legs that he feels really good about. First one, Rams up to +8.5 on Thursday Night Football against the Niners. That's going to be a close game, division game. Both teams won it. Rams +8.5. The Bills, Josh Allen, GOAT, against the Lions. I know the Lions are the best team in the NFL right now. Bills up to +8 to keep it close. And lastly, the Bucks +8.5 on the road against the Chargers. Again, the Bucks know that they can win to make the playoffs and win the division. If they win out, they're going to show up. They're going to keep that game close. So I've got those 3 teaser legs, and I'm matching them each with each other in a sort of a round robin. So yeah, that's the scholar.
Those are some good legs. I feel good for the scholar about those legs. Those are going to be good.
Love it. Glad to have your support, sir.
Yes, that's what you need is the support of the Oracle.
Yes,
that's the one guy you want support from.
The tandem is best when they're working in synergistically together. So
that's right. And with that, ladies and germs, you have another episode of Football Clowns Anonymous. It's your boy Kurtis Pinkney, co-clown Ren Smith. Find us on YouTube, Spotify. Like, comment, subscribe. Email us to get a copy of the spreadsheet so you too can place horrible bets and become a member of the FCA therapy group. What are we calling ourselves? What's our thing?
I was gonna say community, but I like there's probably, but I kind of like the idea of all sitting around in a circle and saying, "Hi, I'm Ren and I'm a football clown."
Hi, Ren.
Yeah, exactly. Step right up and watch us make this money disappear. Thanks.
That's right.
Thanks for listening.